So, Bill, one of the things that I hadn't necessarily expected was to see how much medically assisted treatment there was in the United States with methadone and now buprenorphine, and also how some people were running groups with people who would be seen as clean in the old 12-step abstinence model alongside people on methadone, and how one treatment program I went to didn't even discharge people for using anymore, but just went out to try and find them and bring them back. That was in Philadelphia with long-term homeless people who for whom previous stuff hadn't worked. So I just wonder if you talk a bit about how that's happened here and how challenging that might have been and how you've kind of overcome that difficulty.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say we fully overcome it by any means. When Faces of Voices was created in 2001, when recovery advocates from around the country came together, we had some kinetic ideas that were the foundation of the movement. One was that recovery is a reality in the lives of millions of individuals and families. And the second, and maybe most important, was there are multiple pathways of long-term recovery and all are cause for celebration. And what we said initially was that meant we had to bring together people from very diverse frameworks of recovery, with treatment, without treatment, with recovery support group, without recovery support group. And we struggled very early with this whole issue of medication and our traditional anti-medication bias. What helped us with that process was very early on, we had people came and joined the recovery advocacy movement who were in long-term medication-assisted recovery, who were bright and articulate and incredibly well, highly functioning in terms of their social roles. And they began to really put a face and voice on things like methadone-assisted recovery in ways that we had never seen before. And as those barriers between medication, abstinence, etc. began to break down, we really did begin to sort of break those barriers in ways that a movement could come together where people in traditional abstinence-based frameworks such as 12-step recovery, AA and NA, or treatment-oriented in that direction, could march side by side with people in long-term medication-assisted recovery. And with that, we also began to challenge some of the traditional treatment policies, such as traditional abstinence-based programs refusing to admit someone on methadone for treatment of alcoholism, for example. So that process has just begun. That work is by no means complete in the United States. But I do feel we are beginning to make progress of fully realizing this idea of there are multiple pathways of recovery and all are cause for celebration.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks.